Hey, what's up guys, Wallen Customs here, and we are going straight into the review for Gladiator Hulk right here. And we're starting with size comparisons because we know everyone wants to see how he stacks up with everyone else. So right now here he is with the SH Fig Arts Hulk, and we have the Figma Hulk right here. Not bad. I actually thought he'd be a lot bigger. I don't know why, but he is bigger, but not crazy huge, which I like. I know that's my own preference though. I know a lot of people might want him huge, but he's not bad. Pretty good. He does have some girth to him, definitely, you know, mass compared to the other ones, but here he is in a nutshell. Alright, so next up right here we have the Hulkbuster, and he looks pretty good. I like how it looks. If you want to see his armor on, here's his helmet at least. You can see that. I have him with all his armor on later, but here's a nice size comparison between this and the Hulkbuster. And I would definitely love if we have a normal looking Hulk with no armor on in the future. I think it'd be pretty good because it looks like some of these things they actually come off. It looks like this is actually placed on, this is placed on, this is placed on. You could definitely take these off and this off. All that you left is with the paint. We'll try that later. But here is the Hulkbuster and the Hulk, side by side. Alright, so next up right here we have Rhino and the Juggernaut, other Build-A-Figures in Marvel Legends line. Looks pretty good. I like how he's a little bit taller than Rhino. Rhino still has a little bit more girth in his core of his body, which is not bad. But overall looks pretty nice. He's definitely smaller than Juggernaut, which I like. Not too much smaller, but he is smaller. And you have that right there. Alright, so next up right here we do have Doomsday, the Build-A-Figure from DC, and this is Thanos, also another Build-A-Figure. And it looks pretty good, you know, just throwing it out there if anyone wants to see how they look like. Like I said, you want to see him with his helmet on. There you go. Alright, so next up right here we do have the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure right here, side by side with the Hulk. Pretty much almost the same size, basically. They do have different body sculpts, not the same figure, not the same base. So that's pretty interesting that they have such huge new bases back to back in Build-A-Figures, which is pretty nice. You know, Hasbro has been doing a pretty good job. I know people were kind of angry when you get like a Mantis as a Build-A-Figure, but we do also get pretty big figures otherwise, so looks pretty good. And for another size comparison, here is the rest of the wave right here, which is not bad. I have to say this is a pretty decent wave, maybe one of the best so far. You have so many different figures. You have new Ares, of course. Hela, I have to admit, I actually might think she's the best one out of the whole lot. At least up there. I'm actually really surprised at how much I like her. Female Thor is really good too. It's always nice to have Ares. I never had Ares before also, so that's pretty nice. Loki actually ain't that bad. I actually thought he looked kind of weird from pictures, but in person he isn't that bad. And of course you have movie Thor right there, and you have whatever kind of Thor that is. But yeah, overall looks pretty good. Size looks pretty nice. Don't mind that. Obviously this is the movie selection right there. The other ones are more comic book based. However, looks pretty nice. And to finish off the size comparisons, we have some standard Marvel Legends figures of different sizes. We have Spider-Man, we have Captain America right there, we have Deadpool, and we have Bullseye. All different body sculpts, so you can see how they stack up with this new Hulk base. Alright, now that we have all the size comparisons out of the way, let's take a look at the figure really quickly up close. He does have a couple of accessories. Of course, he has his helmet right here. He also has his armor right here, which goes around the arm, like so. Doesn't really stay on the best though, but it is really flexible and soft, which might be a plus and a minus, to be honest. There's a peg hole in the back over here. Doesn't really stay in that well, but it's so tight, the reach, that it kind of stays in there by tension, just like making it over there sometimes. But I can see how this might be a problem for some people in the long run. That might pop out sometimes. Even right now, I'm having a problem. Alright, so it goes in there, and it goes into the hole, but it's not like a flush suction in there. It's just, like I said, staying on by tension, which isn't horrible. And here's his helmet, which is nice soft helmet, soft rubber, that is. It stays on pretty good. Doesn't look like it's too big on him, which is pretty nice as well. Of course, he does come with weapons. He has a battle axe right here. He has a big clubbing, if you want to call that a hammer, which you can. It's pretty hefty too. He has some weight to it. Definitely is pretty good. They both go in his hands. So we'll put this one in this hand. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to put it in there because, as you can see over here, you have a huge handle right here, which I think that's supposed to be where the hand goes, but it's really big and kind of hard to get in there. You really have to force it in there. And you could, but I feel like you're kind of stretching out the hands. But yeah. Or you could just do this at the staff of the pole and have it kind of dangling. It's up to you. I don't know how many people are going to be really have him holding it, but there he is with his weapons. You can see this is pretty heavy, kind of weighing him down. Alright, so taking a look at the Hulk up close and personal, I have to say, he looks really good. I like how he looks. You know, this design is only obviously based off the movie. We have very minimal visuals of him, of course, wearing this armor because it's pretty much only in the battle, it looks like, in the arena. Other than that, we see the Hulk with no armor on. He looks normal, but this is the Build-A-Figure that we get. So looking at his head sculpt right here, it looks pretty good. It looks very, I'm not going to say old looking. What's the word I'm looking for? Ruffalo looking, yeah. And he looks very Ruffalo looking. I know in the trailers he looks a little bit different. I'm not going to say prettier looking or more handsome, but he definitely looks a little bit newer looking. Man, I am juggling my words. What I'm trying to say is he looks more like the Avengers Hulk. The new Hulk in the Thor movie looks a little bit different, but it looks like they stuck with the older look. It looks like a lot more Ruffalo looking, which is not bad. It's fine. He has some paint over here. He has paint all over the right side of his body. The hair looks pretty good. The hair is a little bit different, obviously, because he has the hat hair, perhaps, because of his helmet, which I understand, so it's not that horrible. The helmet itself is pretty nice. I like it. Pretty good detail. Really nice detail, actually. I like also how it's soft plastic. It's really bendable and easy to use, but it still keeps its shape, which is pretty nice. That's pretty cool. But going down to the rest of the Hulk figure, the armor looks pretty good. You know, I'm not really going to nitpick it because I don't really care that much about the armor. But it looks good. Good paint work on it. Looks nice. Some of it is metallic looking. All soft rubber, pretty much, too. And a lot of it, you can tell, is added on. So you can actually, if you take the hand out, you could take this part off on his forearms. You could take this part off, it looks like it's added on as well. So you can see the base body, definitely. And I hope in the future that we get to use, or get to have a base Hulk like this, like a normal looking Hulk, with no armor on, just the shorts on. That'd be pretty sweet. No paint on his body. That'd be pretty nice to have. But going down to the rest, he has nice armor, as you can see, looks pretty good. He has his little thing right here, whatever you want to call it. Gladiator outfit. He does have shorts underneath as well. We see that. And going down here, he has gladiator shoes and feet. And actually, someone pointed this out before, but you can actually take this off. Try to take this off. So he does have normal bare feet underneath, which I'm always trying to get to, that this will be a fantastic, normal-looking Hulk if we do get one in the future. Alright, going to articulation really quickly. It's a ball jointed head on a hinge. It goes about that far up, not that bad. Pretty decent, goes down pretty good right there. It'll go up and down, left and right. You do have some pivot as well, so that's pretty good. The ball jointed shoulders, or hinge jointed shoulders, that is, they're on hinge joints that rotate all the way around. Going up like this, they might get hindered at the shoulder. However, when you rotate it and bring it back out a little bit more, you're pretty good. It just can't cover that little nudge right there. But it's still pretty good no matter what. He does have a bicep swivel, feels really good and sturdy. He has one elbow joint, and it's not that great because of all this stuff right here. And also because of his bicep. His bicep is pretty big, so it won't go that high up. He does have a wrist swivel and a hinge right there, so that's pretty decent. Let's take this off actually because it is annoying me. Alright. Now getting to the body, right here, he does have a ball jointed ab work, you want to call it that, ab joint, ball joint, right there. Goes up and down, pretty decent. That's pretty much straight. That's actually straight. And goes down just a little bit. So it's pretty decent, not bad at all. It goes left and right, and it pivots as well, so you have a lot of rotation right there, which is fantastic. Now going down, he does have a waist swivel too, so that's pretty nice. He does have T-jointed hips, and they're not that hindered by the outfit, so that's pretty good. They go about that high up. I'm trying to see that. It's not bad. It really isn't that bad considering he has this on. They go back very little. He does have a split ability right there. Thigh swivel right here. 2 points at the knee. At the ankle, he has a hinge, a pivot, and that's pretty much it. Very standard articulation for a Marvel Legend, but it's really good for the Hulk though. I like it, even though his biceps are hindering a little bit of his elbow joint right there. It still is fantastic. Nothing bad about it in my opinion. And since we're here, what do you guys think about his white paint work over there? Not bad, you know. Pretty good. Like I said before, I really do wish in the future we get a normal looking Hulk with this base because it's probably the best one. Honestly, good articulation, T-jointed hips, not bad at all. Like I said, I think this could come off too. This looks like it's placed on, which I kind of like. You know, you can see the straps right here. They're placed on top, so if you were to pop out the arm at the bicep, you probably slide it right off. You probably take the arm out, slide this part off too. You're almost there to having a normal looking Hulk. Alright, so overall I like the Hulk a lot. The armor looks fantastic. I like how on this the whole side of his arm he has this going on. Like all the spikes and everything. Looks pretty nice. I don't think I showed that before. Looks pretty good. Because I know sometimes in the older figures it was a whole sleeve, while this one is just padded armor with straps on it. But I see what they're trying to do there, which is pretty nice. But it's a decent figure. I like it a lot. It's always nice to get a... I don't think we ever got a Hulk Build-A-Figure, so that's pretty interesting. And yeah, like I said before, I like the base. I really hope we have a normal Hulk with this base in the future. I don't know if they're going to be a single card because it might be too big. Maybe definitely another Build-A-Figure perhaps, who knows, but we will see. But yeah, the wave itself is pretty decent. Like I said, Hela looks pretty nice. I was surprised how much I like her. And yeah, decent Build-A-Figure. If you like the Gladiator Hulk, you'll love this one. And you won't be sorry that you got it. It's definitely a great wave, a great Hulk figure right here. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope the review was helpful. I hope the size comparisons were satisfactory. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do what everyone's pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to wildandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!